Hello, I'm Bettina Cornwell, and this is Sponsorship and Marketing, and we'll be talking about assessing prospect potential. And so this is about sports, arts, entertainment. As a partner for a brand or for an organization, as a platform usually for communication, for engagement. And we're going to be answering this fundamental question, which prospective sponsors to pursue. Now, having said that, this is very much oriented to the sport property, art property, and their decision of who might sponsor them next, right? So I have a 100-point system that I use. So, and how might I divvy those up? So I start with fundamentals. And in total, we'll give that 50 points. So fundamentals begin with this idea that I need to know about the potential sponsor enough to decide if this has an opportunity. So I would argue here that we need preparation. So I'm preparing to know about them by learning what is their sponsorship assessment process like. How much lead time do they typically want when they take on a sponsorship? Do they need a year? Are we already inside of that window and it would be too late? Well, let's not go there, right? So learning those fundamentals of what it is that they're going to have in terms of a process in place. So that's 10 points, right? And then also to know the relationships. Again, 10 points, yeah? So the relationships that they have had in terms of sponsorship, what are their past relationships like, and what might they want in the future? Also, relationships could include relationships with people. Do you know any people in this organization? Did you work with them before? Can you talk with them frankly about what the sponsor might be looking for? And then for me, this is big, 30 points. Overlapping values. That is to say that the values that you see for the partnership, that the brand or the organization that you might look for sponsorship, that they have values that are in keeping with yours, and that when that sponsorship is maybe secured, that would be expressing your values. Look to their mission statement, look to their online information to learn what their values are. Now, if you don't have your values sorted, it's hard to know if you have overlapping values. So I'd say one of the first things you need to do is say, well, what are our values as a sport, as a symphony, whatever it might be, and express those and state those, write those, put them on your webpage, and then you're more able to say, do we have overlapping values? So the kind of situation you don't want to have, and say you're all about child health, and this brand that would like to sponsor you is not about child health, then that would be a mismatch and you wouldn't have overlapping values. You get a 0, and it's really hard to have a relationship, even if you get it, to continue it and for it to be healthy over time. Okay, so fundamentals, and then let's talk about relevance. Now, relevance is oftentimes where other people would start. So relevance to me is with audience. So is there an overlap where your audience matches their target audience? And you can clearly say that we're going to be allow you to speak to people you want to speak to. As well, objectives. can they, with a relationship with your property, achieve the objectives that they have in mind? If they wanted to have a display of cars, is there space for that? If they wanted to host hospitality, can you support that? All of those kinds of things that are about answering the question of, can we serve the objectives that the sponsor might have? This is one of my favorites, and it takes some evaluation, but it's worthwhile, and that is to look at synergies. So you have a network of sponsors for a property. As well, you have a network or a portfolio of relationships that the company, the brand, the sponsor, potential sponsor might have. Can you look in that network and this network and see an opportunity where if you work together over time, you're going to be able to create something new or something special that adds value? I would also say that you need to be able to convince any synergy you identify in a compelling way. So you need to make sure you can really articulate this relationship and explain it fully. Okay, so this is another 50 points, right? So we have our 100. And my argument would be that unless you can go through this and get more than 50 points total, you need to go back to the drawing board. And especially if you don't have preparation and overlapping value points that are relatively high, you really need to think through that. If you're below 50, I would work through it another year and then maybe go in the next year to pursue that sponsor. It doesn't have to be the largest company in the region, headquartered there. It could be, if you break out of that thinking, there could be a lot of sponsors you've never identified. Thank you very much. This is Sponsorship and Marketing and Assessing Prospect Potential.